the public safety of Canadians was under threat.
I'm going to jump into this video straight away and ask you a question. During the Freedom Convoy, were you scared for your life? Did you seriously think that the Emergency Act was something that needed to be pushed so that you could feel safe in your home while the truckers were in Ottawa demonstrating for people's freedoms and trying to get rid of mandates? Leave us a comment.
We are aware of the court decision. We have discussed it with the Prime Minister, with cabinet colleagues, with senior federal government officials and experts. We respect very much Canada's independent judiciary.
No, you don't respect anybody. And just so you know, this video's about, if you didn't read the title, it's about the fact that they were caught with the pants down now, and they've been ruled unconstitutional and against Canadian human rights for invoking the Emergency Act during the Freedom Convoy by Justice Mosley.
However, we do not agree with this decision, and respectfully, we will be appealing it.
So there you have it. The Emergency Act is unconstitutional and Freeland and her cronies are going to contest it. I don't know how. Obviously, to get to this point, we did have inquiries and inquiries and inquiries over inquiries, but now we've had somebody who could actually look at the evidence, and this is the decision he's come to. You should respect this decision, and you know what? Just stand down. Call an election, because this is just ridiculous. Call an election. Call a no confidence election. Let's get that in there. Let's do that now. We had Duff Conacher on the radio from Democracy Watch, and he had this to say.
Reasonable for someone else to disagree, and so the federal court justice has disagreed and ruled that there was not a state of emergency that met the definition in the Act, and therefore was unjustifiable and in violation of charter rights for the government to invoke the Emergency Act. But in the future, the appeal court may disagree, may agree with the inquiry commissioner that there was a reasonable justification for it. I don't think the government could justify it. The problem was not a state of emergency. The problem was that police forces were not cooperating. From all the evidence that the commission, in particular the Ottawa police chief, trying to essentially control everything when in fact jurisdiction around Parliament Hill is shared with the RCMP and the highways with the OPP, and there needed to be coordination, and that's what caused the truckers to be able to set up there and stay there as long as they did. And that wasn't a threat to national security. That was just a blocking of a road.
Right.
And that's part of the evidence against the government, that if you could unblock the borders without declaring a state of emergency, then why couldn't you unblock the road in front of Parliament Hill?
Exactly. Why couldn't they just move them along? Why were the police so absolutely useless? There was absolutely no reason why any of this should have gone as far as an Emergency Act. That was just ridiculous. But what's going to happen now? What will happen now? Hopefully you will have commented, given me some insight into what you guys are thinking. We'll hash this out in the comments. But let's just think about what could happen now. What about the bank accounts that were frozen? What about the money that was raised? What about the trucks? We've got friends on here who've had their trucks broken into, smashed up. They've had fines put against them due to the Emergency Act. Now the Emergency Act is unconstitutional. What was the basis for the fines? Where do we go from here? It's going to be a very interesting week, well, end of the week, discussing this and looking into it and seeing what other content makers and what the news make of this. Let's see what happens on CBC. Let's see what happens on their news. See what they start to discuss about this, whether or not it just makes a little bit of a ripple and then goes away. Let's see. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting few days, guys. Till next time.